Mike Bell, Sebastian Discreta, Drew Lafferty. We'll start with a opening statement from Coach Bell and open it up for questions.
First off, appreciate everybody here being here. We talk a lot in our program about opportunities and creating memories, and I think one of the neat things about playing here at PNC Park, whether you grew up in the area of Pittsburgh, like this gentleman on my left, or if you grew up in New Jersey, like the gentleman in the middle, to play in a big league park, play in a first-class facility, play your rival, to do things that you will remember for a lifetime. That's what tonight was all about. And it was an unbelievable performance by Drew, but a great team effort by our team. And I think we showed and proved again that when we do things right, we can play with anybody in the country. I'll leave it for questions. Not everybody wants.
Coach Bell. So you alluded to that this is a rivalry, and it's very contentious between the Penn State and the Pitt side. A lot of Penn State fans typically ignore the Pitt side of it. Give us the Pitt side of this to you, what Pitt-Penn State means to you, and how does a 15-1 game kind of put a mark on this sort of game today?
I live in Cranberry, 30 minutes north of here. When I drive into my neighborhood tonight, half of my neighborhood is Penn State, the other half is West Virginia, and there's a couple Pitt fans. Those Pitt fans will be very, very proud for the next couple months until the next Penn State Pitt matchup, whether it's football, basketball, or whatever it is. It's the beautiful thing about college athletics and rivalries. It doesn't matter what you are lining up and playing, but when those two schools, whatever they are, that rival, play each other, it just adds a little something extra. And that's what this rivalry does for us.
Drew, Coach talked about making memories. How much better does that memory of throwing a complete game mean being at PNC Park, especially coming out of the Whitfield?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I grew up going to games here, and took at least a couple pitches to get the jitters out. I think I walked the first guy on like 5 pitches or something. But yeah, it's awesome. Something I'll never forget for the rest of my life. Sure.
Coach Bell, you're familiar with Coach Gambino, obviously having both been in the ACC for a long time. Now, obviously, you don't have time to keep track on the Big Ten or Penn State or what they're doing, but what are your thoughts just in general on him as a coach, and why do you feel he would be the right person to lead this Penn State program going forward? Because he's still early in his tenure, so.
Yeah, I think you see, when I say this, when we went to their ballpark early this year, I loved seeing all the Pitt fans here today. I think this is the first time in 7 years I felt like there wasn't more of the other team. And you heard our fans, and they're singing Sweet Caroline at the end of the game, and you see the blue and the royal. What makes him right for what's going on over there, when we go play them earlier in the year, the place is packed out. Students are there. It's hot dog Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever they do in their niche, but they're committing to their program, and they've committed to a great coach in Mike Gambino, who's had one of the toughest jobs in the country at BC, and to take BC to a regional and produce some big leaguers, like you said, competing at him for years, and what their field used to look like before they built a brand new one at BC. But I think he's the right man for the job because of what he's doing for the program and doing for their student athletes.
Coach, on the same thing, my partner asked Coach Gambino in the last session about when I think Pitt was up 9-1, the decision to steal that situation. Yep. And Mike said in the same thing, you can 10-run rule it, you can end the game right then and there. Yeah. Was that, and he had no problem with that. Was that the strategy to try to end it sooner rather than later?
There is no doubt. Do you know what? Did you see what they did before we stole?
No.
They picked the first.
Ooh.
Why did they pick the first? Because they understand in the college game, in the midweek sessions, when it comes to saving pitching for the weekends, or you used up a lot of pitching last weekend. What these two guys did, going 7 innings and using one arm, is a lifesaver for a program. Also what our offense did, supplying 5-run innings and those things. So the old school baseball, hey, after the 5th inning, we're up, runs, this and that, we're going to shut things down. The college game's different. You can put a 7 spot up in a heartbeat. And especially when you're in a midweek session, when you're getting to the back end of bullpen arms. So I looked at it from a standpoint of they picked, they understand what's going on here. We've got our best base runner out there. I think it was DK's 20th on the year, right? I don't think we've had a guy steal 20 bags in my 7 years. I mean, it's fun to watch.
Mhm.
And it's great for the game. It really was. Somebody's gotta have a
Anything
question
final?
for my guy in the middle.
Well,
Gotta have
I
a
gotta,
guy.
I gotta ask the players. What did you like about? Obviously, the 15-1 win is fantastic, but defeating Penn State, being with the script Pitt on there, what does that mean to you? Being able to say, hey, we took on Penn State at PNC Park, and you obviously routed them 15-1. What does that mean to you? What's that going to mean to you years from now?
For me, it's not really about the opponent so much. I mean, it's a great rivalry game and stuff like that, but anytime someone's crossing the line against us, like, we gotta go, we gotta be ready to play. So, I mean, 15-1 is great against Penn State, but I'm glad, like Coach said, it was a great team win, and we can compete with anyone in the country when it matters.
Penn State was one of the schools I was looking at out of the portal. Obviously, chose to go back home to Pitt, and my whole family, like my dad, my mom, my aunt, uncle, they all went to Penn State, and maybe they were saying like, hey, you should go to Penn State, but chose to come here. So it definitely means something a little more for me, for sure.
Anything final?
That's all I got.
Thank you, guys.